Why'd you have a very nice background?
I know this morning somehow I got logged out of the Zoom that I'm using, and I'm trying to find those plain backgrounds. Can't find them. So, so this is the only one that
अच्छा लग रहा है और आपकी ड्रेस को भी मैच कर रहा
yeah, I didn't mean this, but what to do?
है
Easier if it is background is there, but yeah. Oh no, I did that inevitable thing. Oh well. I do this sometimes when I'm trying to copy into the WhatsApp and I accidentally click on the X, so it gets, oh well. It's okay, we'll start and then yeah, you're right. This is too bright for me too, but oh well.
No, 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 that's okay. Uh, Bahubali ji is not here?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, maybe Amit
Yeah,
ji.
Nidhi also. Yeah, Nidhi ji also.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's start. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Airiyanam, Namo Uvachayanam, Namo Lore Savasahunam. Jai Janendra Sadiko. Today we will start semester 4, book 1, which is Moksha Prakashak. For this semester, we have chapter 3 and 4. And hopefully, I don't think this will distract you much from what you need to be studying for the exam. So it's only 2 hours, so it should be okay. I am just wondering what happened to even Nidhi ji. She's usually not late, and looks like everybody went on vacation mode or something. Uh, did you find that book?
Yeah, I found a book. I'm just looking for the chapter 3 so I can share your expositions of misery. Okay. Uh, share. Oh, where am I? Where is my?
Sorry, I just joined. What is the question?
Oh, we are trying to share the Moksha Prakashak in English. So we can start with chapter.
Okay.
So chapter 3 is in like, I'll start with the uska jo Manglacharan hai. Okay. तो ये भाव सदा सुखद अपनों करो प्रकाश जो बहुविधि भव दुख निको करी है सत्तानाश. So basically, the Doha is saying that your own true nature is always the Sada Sukhad, always happy, and you can
Ideal. No, but there is just that late.
let me there we go. Okay. So this chapter is going to talk about first explaining that even if you think temporarily when things are going your way, favorable circumstances, that you actually are not as happy as you can be. The example they give is just like, let's say somebody has blood pressure or diabetes, or so many of these diseases don't really give you much symptoms. So what do the doctors say? Viraj, if you can zoom out a little bit so it's a little bigger.
Yeah, it's too. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to
I'm
do
able to do
that.
it on my screen, so either everybody does it on their own screen, or if you can, it would help, but it's okay. So
I
what happens is the doctor, when you go to the every year routine checkups, they make you do blood work. Why? Because they say, oh, you may think you're not ill, but let's find out. So they do blood work and they check your blood pressure every time you go. And then they may say, oh, no, over the last so many months or years, your blood pressure is slowly rising up. So you need to be on blood pressure medication. Or the blood work may show A1C uh, uh, is too much. Or some people, have kidney failure and they don't have any symptoms of it, or cancer and they don't have any symptoms of it. So basically the doctor is trying to find out what disease you have, even though you may not be experiencing.
Viratji, you can click on those zoom in at the bottom right.
Bottom right, yeah. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah, this is too much now. So if you can, maybe it's on my end. I may have zoomed in already. So let me get back to normal. Yeah. Okay, there we go. This is better. Okay.
This is okay?
Yeah. So you want to come back to the beginning of the chapter, I guess.
Yeah.
There. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So Amit ji, I don't know if Nidhi ji has a misunderstanding that she thinks we are in vacation because I know last time she didn't send a recording of her Gandhar either. So hopefully she's coming today. So, okay.
Yeah, I've pinged her, so
Okay.
I don't want to call her because it'll be too early for her.
Yeah, but hopefully she's feeling better. She was not well last time. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she was going to do her Gandhar and she couldn't because she wasn't well. So, okay, no problem. Okay, so Viraj, you want to start reading from
Yeah,
since
so this is, I hope everybody can see it. I know I'm not very good at this thing. Is okay for everybody?
it's good
Yeah.
for me.
I have a book, so I'm referring to my book.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, and Bahubali doesn't need it, so we're good. Mundane existence and bliss of liberation. Here we go. Since the nature of self soul is always blissful, thou ought to emit the light of self, which will destroy the existence of the forms of misery of mundane existence. Many types of miseries are found in the sansar, mundane existence. These are being narrated here, for if there is happiness in sansar also, why should then we make effort for liberation from sansar? Since there are several kinds of miseries in sansar, so efforts are to be made for liberation. As a physician, by making diagnosis of disease and describing its condition, convinces the patient about his disease and thereafter creates interest in him for the treatment. Similarly, here, also by making diagnosis of the sansar and describing the conditions, Acharya convinces the mundane being of his sansar disease and creates interest in him to making efforts to get rid of it. For example, the patient is suffering from the disease but does not know its root cause, does not know the right treatment, and also cannot bear the pain. Then whatever appears to be the right treatment, he takes it. Therefore, the misery does not come to an end. Then tormented, being helpless, he bears the pain. When the physician tells him the root cause of pain, tells the nature of the pain, proves all his efforts wrong, then he gets interested in making the right effort. Similarly, the mundane being is suffering from sansar, transmigratory existence, but does not know its root cause, does not know the right means, and also cannot bear the miseries. Then whatever appears the right effort, he makes it. Therefore, the misery does not come to an end. The tormented being helpless, he bears those miseries. He is shown here the root cause of miseries. The nature of misery is explained, and all his efforts are proved to be wrong. Then he gets interested in making the right efforts. For this purpose, this description is made here, root cause of miseries. From Karm's bondage point of view, the root cause of all miseries is
Hang on,
wrong.
before that, let's quickly discuss this first part quickly.
Yeah.
So let's see. So today, what happens? Okay, everybody's getting older. And what is today's, everybody is looking at reels. And there is all kinds of stuff on the internet, on the, social media, which will, oh, you have this pain, do this. You have this, do this, right? Nobody is getting to the root cause of why you have. And people get swayed. Well, marketing, that's their job, right? Oh, you have this symptom, then you have these vitamins, so buy our vitamins. Somebody else will say you have this, buy this. And whoever is in pain or whoever is suffering through whatever that condition is, they'll fall for everything. Weight loss is probably number one of all, right? You large amount of population has weight issue. They will fall for any kind of advertisement. Anything out there, they want to try. So same way, when we have, and this is not limited to just bodily discomfort. It can be investment related. It can be anything that is unfavorable circumstances. And then we go around looking for solutions. Whether it's, okay, so you're not making, your investments are not doing good. What do? You go to ask friends, or where do you invest? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. And then any kind of illness, same thing. If doctor says, oh, it's not treatable, then they will go to this Baba, that Baba, whatever, whoever, anybody, you're willing to try. So now they're saying that, okay, because they don't know what is the root cause, they will fall for anything and everything, because somehow they want to get rid of that uncomfortable situation. But if they would know the root cause, like they nowadays, a lot of times they will advertise that, okay, you want to stay healthy, eat fiber, eat protein, blah, 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 whatever, to prevent. So same way, the acharyas said, okay, even though you may think right now that temporarily you are not unhappy. A lot of people I meet, and even after they're retired, you tell them that, I mean, I personally have friends that have so much money they don't know what to do with. They obviously don't need to earn money. Yet they cannot give up their jobs. Why? Because they don't see the need to understand the soul or spirituality. So they feel like if I don't do my job, I don't have anything better to do. And that's the reason they're busy working. And whenever I tell them that, oh, maybe you can learn about this, and they're like, no, what's the need? Life is okay, life is smooth, we have enough money, whatever the simple sansaric, routine favorable circumstances. And ठीक है, कभी कभी ऐसे होता है तो मंदिर चले जाते हैं, इतना बहुत है हमारे लिए. That's what a lot of people feel, that's enough for them. But then whenever some unfavorable things happen, then they're going to all the different temples, or assuming that some god will help them, which obviously doesn't happen, right? Or they will do, even with amongst Jains, there are like Bhaktambar ka ye wala part pad lo, usse ye ho jayega accomplish, yeah. There are so many, things that are prescribed these days. Ye stone pan lo, usse theek ho jayega, ye ratna, so many different theories. And why all these? Because we cannot tolerate the unfavorable circumstances. So we want to figure out some way to get out of those situations. But here Acharya is saying that, well, number one, any of those will only work if your Uday is coming up for Sata. Otherwise, no matter what you do, whether you wear the stone, you do bhaktambar, you do, there is that pyramid technology or whatever you do, none of that is going to help. So here they're saying that before you get into all of those false beliefs, find out where you're getting all these miseries from and what you can do to further, at least for reduce them for future. And even the ones that are there with you, that are going to come to fruition from time to time, which will happen. None of us have done only punya karma, right? So we have done demerits. So those are also going to come into fruition. Those they will definitely come. So then it will teach you how to accept that. Once you know the root cause, once you know the reality, then you are able to accept it and not be as disturbed and go around places which may not be beneficial to you. So that is why, just like in any disease, getting to the root cause is important. So for the general happiness or peace in life, it is important to dig out the root cause of your worldly miseries. Obviously, moksha has no misery. So miseries are only in the worldly life, whether it is, and whichever all the four realms, human, hell, and heaven, and Tiryancha, right? So, so then they go on to say why the miseries are happening, and they're talking about the mithyatva, of course, is the main root cause, and then there is other ones that follow. So, okay. Amitji, you want to read from
Sure.
the root of miseries?
Yeah, root cause of miseries. From Karm's bondage point of view, the root cause of all miseries is wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. The misbelief in tattvas, realities, due to rise of darshan moh, faith deluding karma, is wrong faith, mithya darshan. Because of it, the true realization of the nature of the substances is not possible. Rather, false realization is caused. And due to the instrumentality, nimit of that wrong faith only, whatever knowledge of Shayopsham form exists, it, it is all perverse knowledge. Owing to that, right knowledge of the nature of the substance does not evolve, rather, contrary knowing is caused. And the passional dispositions caused due to the rise of charitra moh, the conduct deluding karma, is a sayam, wrong conduct, because of which the Jeev does not act in accordance with the nature of the substances, rather acts contrarily. Thus, these false beliefs, etc., only are the root cause of all miseries. Why is it so is being explained. Misery caused by the Shayopsham of Gnan Varna.
One second, let me quickly
Yeah.
add this. So all of the Jains, even if you're born Jain, one thing you're taught is the goal of life is what? Moksha. Everybody wants moksha. And Tattvat Sutra, that is, I think, second or the sutra, Samyak Darshan Gyan Charitrani Moksha Margaha. Right? So how do you get to moksha? Samyak Darshan, Gyan, and Charitra. So, and that does not change whether you're Shwetambar, you're Digambar, that stays the same for everybody. So they are now explaining that why those things become nimit in your miseries. So you have the wrong faith, then your knowledge is considered wrong, then charitra. So once your faith becomes correct, only then the charitra follows. And until that, we keep assuming that we are having good conduct, but it is really not the correct conduct because the reason behind it is wrong. So we may do what it says in the Shastras for sadhu, tap, Vayavach, all those things, but without mithya darshan, they don't have much value. So, okay, continue.
Only one question. In this, it says Shayoksham will give you perverse knowledge, but you're subsidizing some things, right? And you destroying some
What they're
karma.
saying is, okay, Kshayopsham, remember what does it mean?
Subsidize plus come destruction, right?
Right. So so basically there is upsham of the knowledge faculty is not fully developed,
Correct.
right?
Partially, yeah.
Which means, right. So then there is, remember in the Gyan Gun, there are three things: opposite knowledge. What were the three things that we learned? Viprit, so one is you're not interested. One is
False
the
mithya
knowledge
is
is
one.
opposite.
Right.
And the first one was
Viparya anadvaya vashani. Mithya.
right. So that is what happens when your Jnana Varniya Karma is in Uday and your knowledge is Kshayopsham Gyan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the sentence reads, wrong faith and due to the instrumentality, nimit, of that wrong faith. So first you have Mithya Darshan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So remember we said even the correct knowledge, until you have Mithya Darshan, is called false knowledge.
Yeah.
That's why they're using that term. So that doesn't mean that everything you know is incorrect necessarily.
Right.
So that because it has the nimit of the wrong faith, whatever knowledge of Kshayopsham form exists, it is all perverse knowledge. Owing to that, right knowledge of the nature of the substances does not evolve. So remember, everything you're reading right now is not necessarily perverse knowledge, but until you have Samyak Darshan, it is considered perverse knowledge.
Okay.
The moment it becomes Samyak, then all the knowledge becomes Samyak.
What are the three types of
And then
knowledge you're talking about?
So Viprit, Gyan,
G.
Anadyavasai means I'm not interested in that Gyan, and the first one I'm forgetting.
False knowledge. I mean,
False
right?
knowledge. Yeah. No, false knowledge is, there is two types of it. One is opposite. Is the first one incomplete?
So
I'll have to look it up again.
the ignorance is one thing. Right? Ignorance is. Let me find it.
I'm thinking of those three terminologies. 1 second, let me see.
And Adhyavas is not interested.
Yeah, that was. Okay. I think we just read this even this last semester. I think Amit is better at this than I am, asking ChatGPT those three. Are you looking up, Amit? Since Arunji is asking, I think we should just quickly check. Breathe. Can't think of the first word. Nobody else is getting it either? Can't think of the first word. It's okay. If we don't get it right now, I'll look it up later and
I
get
think
back.
it's talking about Kumati Gyan Kushrut
No,
Gyan, and
Kushrut Kumati we know, but what are the three faults in the Gyan? That's what I'm trying to get at.
that's what ChatGPT is saying.
No. That's not. That's why I'm saying that the ChatGPT doesn't is not giving the correct things.
So we are saying the wrong faith will lead to exactly what? Anadyavas or Viparit Gyan or whatever. Because Shivsam will have some benefits, right?
Yeah. Shayopsham basically means that some of your Jnana Varniya karma are not in Uday, some are
Ji.
suppressed. So they're giving you the ability to know correctly. So Shayopsham is not bad, it's just not complete. So the Gyan is Shayopsham all the way till you get Keval Gyan. Shai Gyan is Keval Gyan, basically, that you have destroyed all the
It is
Jnana.
making a blanket statement that wrong faith, despite Shivsam, will lead to perverse knowledge.
Yeah, so perverse knowledge, even though it says leads to, but it's called perverse knowledge until you get the right faith.
Which is only after Samyak Darshan.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it. I think it is Sanshay Gyan.
There,
Well,
Sanjay, Viparya, and Anadhyavasan. Those are the
Nanadyavas.
words I was looking for. Oh my God, sometimes your memory just doesn't work. So those are the three words we've talked about it several times in the last 2-3 semesters. Okay, so Sanshay means you doubt everything.
Sunshine.
Viparya is you understand the opposite meaning of it. And Anadhyavasai means I don't care. I don't want to know.
And what is Viparya?
Opposite.
Contrary, inverted.
It's like we think this body is soul or soul is body.
So despite Shivsam, if we have the wrong faith, what will it be? Sanshay Gyan?
No. It can be any of these three. So you can, let's say we are reading this book, right? And for you guys, it's in the right way, but you do doubt things, right? Is it, I wonder if it is like this. And then we discuss why it makes sense, right? So you prove it to yourself. Now, the other way would be one just doubts it that, oh, this can't be true, and just leave it like that. Now, the Viparya is the opposite. If you associate with yourself with the body and not the soul, then you're doing opposite of what should be actually done. And the third one is the one, like I said, you tell people that, hey, this knowledge is worth knowing, and they're like disinterested.
Yeah.
So the Gyan should be without those three faults. Those are three faults of the Gyan. So it should be, whatever knowledge we gain, it should be proven that there should be no doubt left in that. There should, it should not be, see, Viparya, sometimes they say in some philosophies, one place it will say something, on the other place it will say just the opposite, but without giving the Naya. In Jainism, even if it sounds opposite, but they will tell you with what reference they're saying. For example, Samaysar wants you to look at it from the soul's point of view. So it will only focus on that angle. Pravachan Sar will give you the complete kind of like a global view of things. Is that clear, Arunji?
Ji.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Misery caused by Kshopsham or Gyanavarni or Darshanavarni and release from it.
Sorry, yeah. Misery caused by Shayopsham of Jnana Varnya and Darshana Varna and release from it. Because of wrong faith, etc., Jeev cannot attain discriminative knowledge of self and non self. The self is a soul, living substance, and the body is the mass of infinite matter particles Pudgal Parmanus. By their union, human, etc., embodied forms, paryas, are produced. Jeev believes that paryay, embodied form, to be self. The nature of soul is knowledge, perception, etc. Through it, a little knowing and seeing takes place, and anger, etc. dispositions are evolved owing to karmic bondage. And touch, taste, smell, color, that is complexion, is the nature of the body, which is obvious and it undergoes various modifications like becoming obese, lean, etc., and changing of touch, complexion, etc. He knows all these as his own nature. The functioning of knowledge and perception takes place through senses and mind. Therefore, he believes that skin, tongue, nose, eyes, ears, and mind are his organs. I know and see through these organs. Because of this belief, the feeling of belongingness and affection is found in the senses. Further, due to force of moha, delusion, the desire of knowing and enjoying the objects through those senses is produced. And on enjoying those objects, he feels satisfied on fulfillment of that desire and feels delighted. Just as a dog masticates the bone, due to that its own blood starts coming out, by its taste, it believes that this is the taste of the bones. Similarly, this jeev knows the objects due to which his knowledge gets entangled in them. Taking its taste, he believes that this is the taste of objects. But the taste is not in the objects. He himself created the desire. By knowing it himself, believed himself to be happy. But I am an eternal soul, characterized by knowledge, sentience. Such realization of self being an embodiment of knowledge only is not there. And I saw dance, heard melody, smelled the flowers, tasted and touched the objects, knew the Shastra, scripture. I should know this. Like this, he possesses the realization of knowledge mixed with the objects known. Because of this, the predominance of objects alone is perceived. In this way, owing to nimitt of moha, the desire of objects is found to this jeev. He has the desire of knowing and enjoying all the objects of past, present, and future. I should touch all, taste all, smell all, see all, hear all, and know all. So much is the desire, but power is limited to touch, taste, smell, seeing, and hearing only such objects which come into contact with the senses. Out of them, only a few are partly known and enjoyed, and a few are known partly through remembrance by mind, etc. Even this much materializes on meeting several external causes. Hence, the desire never gets fulfilled. Such desire can only be fulfilled on attainment of Keval Gyan, omniscience.
So
The
let's think
desire,
about it. So what are they saying? That this, the things where we feel happy is so dependent on the five senses that we have. Not only dependent, it's also limited. See, you can only hear whatever touches your eardrums, right?
Mhm.
Anything beyond that, you cannot. So let's say, compared to us, even some of the animals have a stronger sense of hearing or a stronger sense of sight, and so on, right? Yet, we think whatever our senses can feel, we want to do that. We want to hear good, we want to watch movies, we want to go on vacation. That's all about the sight. And same thing with the smelling faculty, hearing, taste. what they're trying to say is we get so swayed by whatever touches our senses. And we forget that the happiness gun is not in the things that your senses are able to experience. The happiness is coming from within. The soul has the happiness and knowing and perception gun. These objects don't have that. So we have that mithya gyan or wrong belief that I'm getting happiness out of all these things that I feel from my five senses and mind, or whatever you want to call it. And yet we continue to keep wanting to see more, see different places, smell good objects, perfumes, you know, taste. I like this, I don't like this. I mean, soul has no such thing. It just knows that you ate. It's the rag and dvesh that we have artificially created, which causes the liking and dislikes. And obviously, there is no good or bad in the taste or the smell. Smell is smell. We make it good or bad. So, because we have this wrong belief that our senses is what I'm getting the happiness through. So, if somebody is blind or you don't think they can be happy, yes, they can. Or somebody doesn't have the speech, or there are so many different handicaps. And how then they say our running after the senses is so futile and can give more misery to us. So they've given then examples of examples in nature of the five different senses, to the examples of animals. Okay, continue reading. Bahubali, you want to start with the next paragraph?
Okay.
The desire does not get fulfilled.
The desires does not get fulfilled through the senses because of the state of Kshayapsham. So, owing to nimitta of moha, continuous desires of knowing and enjoying concerned objects through sense persist.
Have the book. Just underline this. Owing to nimit of moha.
Yeah.
Moha will make you feel like you're enjoying these things through the senses, but it's only a nimit. Upadan is still stronger than that nimit.
Due to which, getting perturbed, the jiva is suffering from misery. So much is the misery that even for knowing and enjoying a single object, he is not even afraid of death. As an elephant has vehement desire of embracing the artificial female elephant, the fish of tasting of meat attached with the fisherman's stick, the bee of enjoying the smell of lotus flower, the moths of seeing the color of lighted lamp, and the deer of hearing the melody of music, due to which, even if instant death be sensed, yet they are not afraid of it.
Mhm.
On one hand, death was sure if the objects were enjoyed, and on other hand, misery of senses was felt to be greater if the objects were not enjoyed. Being afflicted from agony of these senses, all jivas irrationally plunge into the objects of senses, just as some miserable person jumps from the top of a mountain. Jivas earn wealth by undergoing several types of pains, spend it for obtaining the objects of senses and for the acquisition of those objects. They knowingly go even to such places where death is sure to occur. They also indulge into the acts of injury, etc., and involving into passions of anger, etc.
So you see here, I never thought of it that way. This a long time ago when I was hearing Bharalji's lecture. And he gave an example that, the Chakravarti, he has 96,000 wives, right? And then he's, enjoying their company or whatever. How do you think he's enjoying the company? He has, without this Indriyo ka rog, he couldn't. So you don't even think of that perspective, that it is like a rogue to want to be with so many 96,000 queens. So here they've given those examples that how an elephant gets trapped because he want to, go with the female elephant. And this is something, I think in this book itself it will come. So what happens is whenever they're trying to catch an elephant to, in the old days, it used to be for the circus purpose. I don't know now what they, in India, they still have elephant rides and stuff like that. So for that, when they're trying to catch the elephant, what they do is they will put a female elephant in front of the elephant and train the female elephant to run. They make a big pit, and then they train the female elephant to go all the way up to the pit and then go by the side. But the male doesn't know that, and he falls in the pit, and that way they catch him. So what they're trying to say is that we run after these five senses, get pleasure at the cost of our death. So same way they give the other example of the fish, how they're able to, fishermen are able to catch the fish because she wants the taste of that worm. Then the Brahmar,
Deer listening to music.
deer is listening to music, and then they get killed because that's what the hunters do. They play the music, so they will get attracted towards that side, and then they kill them. And same thing, the भ्रमर को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं?
Honey bee.
Right, bee? I don't know if it's honey bee, some other bee. Okay, it wants to go on the pollen of the flower, and then I guess they're giving the example of lotus flower, which closes at night, and then whole night trapped and it dies. So basically, they're trying to say that whenever you run after the five senses, trying to get happiness out of the five senses, you can get trapped, and even up to the death.
The moths is the best example, common example we can see that they go to the fire and fall. Correct. I mean, that's
right. Mosquitoes, moth, all
Yeah.
those things have a lamp, and they're trying to come towards it, and they die because of the heat. That's true. So basically, same thing. Then in the next paragraph, they say that it's the pain of these senses. So it's not really enjoyment. The senses are giving you a pain to want to do that act. So they give this example of, let's say you have you have some itching disease. So even if you know that with itching you can peel that skin or make it more, but you still want to itch. So that desire is so strong that at the cost of getting more pain, you're still itching. So basically, they're saying that all this Vishaya ka rag is basically gives pain, and yet people don't understand and run after the five senses, enjoyment from the five senses.
Okay.
Oh.
What can they do? The pang of the senses becomes unbearable, hence no other idea comes to their mind. The Indras, celestial beings, etc., are also afflicted from this pang. They too are found very much engrossed in the objects of the senses, just as a person afflicted from
Eczema rubs the affected.
Eczema rubs the affected part engrossingly. If there be no pain, why would he rub? Similarly, the celestial beings, etc., afflicted from the sensual disease, indulge engrossingly in the objects of senses. If there be no pain, why would they indulge in sensual objects, such as the sensual knowledge produced by Kshapsham of Jnana Varna, Darshana Varna karmas? It acts as a cause of misery owing to nimitta, association of mithya darshan, wrong belief, etc., in association with desire.
It's interesting, we don't even look at it as a negative thing.
Yeah.
Want to have desires, to want to have things. So they're saying that even the Indra means the king of the heavens, he also is trapped in this and desires, in the heavens, especially in other than Sarvat Siddhi, whole day they're just watching and music, and they also have devis to be with. And so they're running after their senses. And then they also have the lobe kashai is quite a lot in heavens. So then they have these they call them viman, celestial planes or whatever you want to call it. And then because of this indriya rog, they have isha, jealousy with each other. So you want something, let's say, right? Because you have this pain, so you need this. And then you see this, oh, some other devta has more than me. And then they have jealousy. So because of that, they say that heaven is also not the best place for this soul.
Do they have any free will in heaven?
Yeah, of course. I mean, so you get the best, a lot of the miseries are not there, right? You're not born with a garb, so you don't have the garb ke dukh. You don't have the pain of being a baby, not being able to express that you're cold or hot, or you have to you're hungry. So those miseries are not there. So you're born youth in your youthful form, and there is no rogue, there is no disease, there is no decay, none of that. Yet there are all these other lob kashai is very prominent in heavens. So there is still misery, and in doing so, karm bandhan bhi to hota hai na. So it's not like ki sirf karam, majority of the time they are basically in the heaven to get rid of all the punya karma that they've accumulated. Somewhere they have to spend it. But in doing so, they also get new karmas. And that is why you don't go directly from heaven to heaven, because you've consumed all the good karmas you had.
So what happens at the end of their life, or when they've got rid of all the karmas, they go back to
In human or Arthurians.
human appearance. Yeah.
There they cannot accumulate so many bad karmas to directly go to Narak either. So you cannot go from heaven to directly to hell. You have to go through Syrians or human.
So if they can accumulate good karmas, do they have capability of accumulating good karmas as well?
To go to another heaven birth.
But they cannot liberate themselves from
Not at
Devi.
all. For liberation, you need the charitra. That's why that is only possible in the human form. And the ones that are samyak drashti in the heaven, they realize that it is like a jail. I mean, because they're there for so long. Human life is so small, relatively speaking. And once they are there, they are waiting. It's like a punishment to a samyak drashti. So, for example, they say out of the Panch Pandav, the first three went to moksha from the same life, right? and the other two, because of that small rag they had towards their brothers, they thought, oh, what will happen to my brothers? And because they were burning hot jewels made out of iron, that little thought made them go to the Swarg instead of the Moksha. They couldn't cut that much karmas to go to the Moksha. So now it is like a punishment. They were about to take that leap to Moksha. And then because now it's all basically good karmas, even whether they're in meditation and all that. So if they don't go to make Moksha, they end up going to Swarg. But they don't desire for Swarg. Somebody who's going to Moksha, why would they want to go to Swarg? So, okay, continue.
Now, the means that this jiva adopts for getting rid of miseries is being explained, with the understanding that my desire will be fulfilled by enjoying the objects through senses. He firstly strengthens the senses by taking different types of meals, etc., and knows thus only that if the senses are strong, he will have more power of enjoying the objects. Moreover, various external causes are required there. He tries to acquire them. Further, the senses enjoy the objects on coming in contact with them. Hence, it tries to bring about the contact of the objects with the senses through different external resources. Thus, for the sake of gathering together different types of garments, foods, flowers, temple ornaments, etc., and songs, musical instruments, etc., he undergoes severe stress and strain. Further, so long as the object remains in contact with the senses, till then somewhat knowledge of that object continues. Later on, only its remembrance in the mind remains. By the lapse of time, the remembrance also fades out, so he makes effort to keep those objects under his control and frequently indulges in them. And the senses can enjoy only one object in one time, but he wants to enjoy many objects and rushes towards the other object, and leaves it also. Rushes towards the other object, thus behaves ravenously. In this way, whatever means comes to his mind, he adopts them, but all those means are false. Because firstly, availability of the desired objects is not under one's control. It is extremely difficult. And if by chance, according to the rise of karmas, the desired situation is also met with, then by strengthening the senses, the power of enjoying the object does not increase. That power increases only by increasing the power of knowledge and perception, but this depends on absorption of karmas. Someone whose body is strong is seen possessing such power in a lesser measure. Someone whose body is lean and thin, he is found possessing such power in greater measure. Therefore, by strengthening the senses through meals, etc., nothing is accomplished. By decrease in passions and on getting absorption of karmas, if the power of knowledge and perception increases, then accordingly, the power of enjoying the object increases. Further, he tries to gather the sensual objects, but it either does not remain associated for a long time, or mostly the company of all the desired objects is never met with. So this anxiety continues. And by keeping those objects under his control, he very frequently indulges in them, but they do not remain under his control. Those separate substances change independently on their own or depend on the rise of karmas. Such bondage of karmas takes place on the evolution of suitable, auspicious disposition, pious thoughts, and later on they come to rise state which is clearly seen. Even on making several efforts, without nimitta of karmas, the external objects are not met with. Further, leaving one object, he indulges in other object, thus behaves ravenously, what can be achieved from it? As a voracious person requiring a quintal food gets a particle of food, can his hunger be quenched? Similarly, can the desire of the one who is desirous of obtaining all objects be satisfied by obtaining only one object? Happiness is not possible without the end of desire. Hence, this effort is false.
So see, what they're trying to prove here is that having desire is really a disease. So if you will only desire of things. So let's say we want to go on vacation. We never think of it like as if it's a disease, that something we cannot live without. That's why we like want to go. Okay, so you have the money, so you'll end up going here and there and there. Now you can even afford it, but eventually what happens? Your body doesn't cooperate. You get older. Now you cannot travel anymore. But does the desire reduce? What, anytime you go on vacation, let's say we happen to have this problem or whatever it is, that we end up traveling a lot, every time our friends, they know we traveled, and they're like, oh, it's so nice you're able to travel when you're young. Oh, you should travel as much as you can when you're young. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, how much importance we mundane souls give to these things. People think like, if you are capable of traveling, then you should travel, like that's the best thing to do in the world. It is not. The fact that you want to travel is a disease by itself. Or you want to smell good things, you want to go to whatever. I mean, people go to these actors or singers, shows, all that. Whenever first time when I heard this thing with Bharalji, that it's like, because they have this disease that they have to go after all these pleasures. Otherwise, there's no need. You could be happy without any of that. And not only we are wrong, we are also misguided by the world. All our friends will tell us, oh, how lucky you are. You can travel the world around. Or whenever we tell, I mean, in our case, it happens to be the case for whatever reasons that we have had to travel, or whatever you want to call it. And people are like, oh, so lucky. You travel 6 months out of the year. Oh, and I say, no, there's nothing lucky about it. It just so happens to be the Sahयोग right now for me. You know? And so, and then the funny thing is, like, my mother-in-law used to say this, right? And this happens with a lot of people, okay? When you, what did she say? Yeah, when she had the teeth, couldn't afford the almonds. And then when you could afford the almonds, you didn't have the teeth. That's what we are all about, right? We keep longing for these things that we cannot do. And that's why we get stuck in this mundane routines where, people feel, oh, right now we are raising our children, or we are taking care of an elderly. So they feel sad about, oh, we cannot travel because whatever, right? I mean, that's what it's funny. Like in our own case, my mother-in-law stayed with us. So we, for 10, 12, whenever, during her later stage of life, we did not go anywhere because we didn't want to leave her. We couldn't leave her alone in the house. So we did not travel at all for like 10, 12 years. No vacations, not even going out with kids, or none of that. Or even if India we had to go, it would be either me or my husband. Only one of us could go because we couldn't leave her. We didn't want to leave her. So, and then now that we travel, some people will say, oh, it's your punya karma. See, you took so good care of your mother-in-law. You didn't. Like, oh my God. So this tells you how much like wrong notions we have. And that's what we are surrounded by. So anyway, so the bottom line is that Todarmalji is trying to explain to us that all this is a bad disease we have, that we want to be attracted to all these wishes of all the five senses, and we feel happiness in it, or we feel proud that we are able to get the vishay fulfilled, and all those things. So, and if you didn't have that, didn't need to run after these things, you would be happy in your own nature. So
Okay.
okay,
Then,
let's
for the question and answer.
Prabhat, one question quickly. I mean, why is it saying that sensual desire will increase due to show some of karmas? I'm not able to understand.
okay,
No,
wait. That sentence, I think we are not understanding it correctly. Can you read that sentence again, Bahubaliji?
yeah. So like, see, therefore, by decrease in passions and okay. So like, therefore,
No, this is
no, I
on what
think
can they do, that paragraph. What can they
No,
do?
that's exactly the sentence I'm talking about. By
yeah.
decreasing
So I
passion and
think if
show
it
some
is
of
in the previous one, correct? Like if you say the okay, so the rise of karmas, the desired situation is also met with then by strengthening the senses, the power of
No,
enjoying object does not increase.
no, hold on. I think it is such is the sensual knowledge produced by Shayopsham of Jnan Varni, Darshan Varni, Karma, correct?
Yeah,
Arunji,
so
that is
what
where
they're
you are.
saying,
also, I've highlighted all those and they don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
okay, let's quickly read it again, because I think what they're trying to say is, because see, until you have Keval Gyan, your knowledge faculty is affected by your Mithya Darshan.
So why drag Shoksam into it then? Just
Yeah,
say
can I explain?
That your knowledge
Yeah,
is.
go ahead, Amitji. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Amit, what you wanted to say.
Yeah, let me, and Prabha, you can correct me. So it says, so I will first say the statement, right, where the confusion is. Such is the sensual knowledge produced by Shayopsham of Jnan Varniya, Darshan Varniya karmas. Okay, so we know Shayopsham is the mix of suppression of karma, that is Opshamic Bhav, and Shay is the ending of a karma, right? So
Ending.
it's a mixture of both. So when that happens, right, those karmas are suppressed or they extinguish, right? So what does that mean? The knowledge increases. Karmas goes off because Gyanvanya, Darshanvanya karmas are like the clouds, right, obstructing the sun's rays to come to us. Now that it has been removed, right, we have more knowledge. But unfortunately, that is on the wrong faith side. That increase in knowledge, right, is still accompanied by wrong faith, which is the Mithya Darshan. So that increase in knowledge is nothing but the sensual knowledge gets increased. So it is saying, such is the sensual knowledge produced. So sensual knowledge is produced by what? By the shayopsham of these two karmas. But still, the knowledge is not on the right direction. It is on the wrong side, wrong faith. That's why it is sensual. If our faith was right, and if the shayopsham of karmas would have happened, that knowledge would have actually made us more pure. It would have led us to Keval Gyan in that direction. That's what I understood.
so. What is
So
the
basically,
limit?
Yeah.
what it's saying
Yeah.
is, yeah,
Nimit
somebody.
is the Mithya Darshan. So
Mhm.
wrong faith is the Nimit. Naimetic is the knowledge. The increase in knowledge, right, happens, but we still, the Nimit of Mithya Darshan makes it a wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge is sensual knowledge.
But is it due to rise of Moniakar here?
Yeah, in
Yes.
association with desire, rise of Monia Karma.
होता है में आपको सम्यक दर्शन नहीं है, right? That was the first statement it said in the nimit of moha, right? Now, your gyan is not complete. When you say kshayopsham gyan, it's not keval gyan. Anything less than keval gyan is kshayopsham gyan. Now, your kshayopsham gyan, when it indulges in the five senses, it wrongly believes that it is getting pleasure out of those five senses. So that is why they are saying that your kshayopsham gyan thinks that it is wrong, it's getting pleasure out of the
The reason I'm finding it confusing, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, but the confusion is coming because in chapter 2, which I just finished reviewing for the exam,
right.
Shayapsam always leads to something good.
Good, yes, that is
Yeah,
true.
that is correct. That is
True.
correct.
Yet it is not complete. So you're absolutely right. Kshayopsham is better than what do you call Mitra
Odaik.
Gyan, right?
Correct.
But it is yet not complete. So you also make all the mistakes during the Kshayopsham Gyan time.
Because moha is there still. Moha is
Moha
not.
is still there.
Correct. So you are right. Shayopsham means the clouds have gone away. So more sun is coming, more sunlight is coming from the sun. So that way you're right. Shayopsham will always give you better things. But here the wrong faith due to the monia karma
No.
is actually not helping the increase in knowledge. That increase in knowledge is on the wrong direction. We want
So
to go to north, but it
earlier,
is going to the
yeah.
south, the increase in knowledge.
Earlier we were in dark, we couldn't do much. Now we are in light, but with the wrong faith, we are able to think that okay, we can let's enjoy this one.
Correct.
Actually, I'll tell you, Amit ji was also there. We went to this Jana Shivir. So Vipinji has an association, some whatever called Satpat. What their statement is, गलत रास्ते पर कितने ही दूर निकल गए हो, वहां से लौट आना ही बेहतर है. तो ज्ञान तो अपना काम कर रहा है, पर वो गलत साइड में कर रहा है.
Yeah.
No, you
Consider a number
south,
scale.
you ended up north. It's better to turn around no matter how far you've gone north.
Yeah. Consider a number scale. You have zero, right? If you move on the negative side, you're still progressing, but you're going -1, -2, -3. Right? You need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? That's what is happening. Shayopsham is leading you to go on the negative side more because of wrong faith, and wrong faith is because of delusion or the mohonia karma. That's what these two statements says together.
But it's in the beginning, it says like moha is the nimit. Under that nimitta moha, kshayapsham happens. So whatever the kshayapsham, whatever the gain we have on the knowledge and the perception, so we are doing wrong things more and more.
And
Because
same thing when you turn around,
Yeah.
when your Mithya Darshan change to Samyak Darshan,
yeah,
then all of that starts going in the positive direction.
But I like the language of Moksha Marg a lot. Right? It
Yeah.
explicitly
Very
describes
easy,
minute thing.
has the all substance from all the Shastras.
yeah.
Correct. That's very good.
Todarmal ji has done an amazing job. And also, lot of his questions, when we read, they're almost going to feel like, oh, I was just about to ask this question.
Hmm. Plus, it has the flow, right? It has the flow that, okay, this is what happens, then this happens, then this happens. I like the flow and the question answers. It's very
Let's
good.
still quickly read the exact sentence that Arunji is talking about, just so that way, in case.
The other sentence, which is, I mean, I get it, but this one is like, says by decrease in passions and on getting some of karmas, if the power of knowledge and perception increases, then accordingly the power of enjoying the objects increases.
Oh, I see.
By
Decrease
decreasing
in
Right.
passions.
So, right. So what he's saying is that, see, कर्मों का भी तो उपशम हो रहा है ना, तो
तो decrease
अच्छे
in passions की बात कर रहे हैं और फिर हम कह रहे हैं
फील वाले
enjoyment
कर्म
बढ़ रहा है.
आपके उदय में आ गए, तो क्या होगा? वो सेंसुअल प्लेजर का आपको गुड फीलिंग आएगी ना, बिकॉज वो कर्म उपशम हो रहे हैं आपके, तो साता के उदय में चल रहे हैं. पर उसमें सुख बुद्धि करना वो हमारी भूल है। नॉलेज का काम तो है वो आपको फील गुड करवाएगी। आप समझ रहे हैं?
उसमें
कर्मों का
वेदनीय
क्षय
कर्म
जब
नहीं आएगा
होगा,
उसमें,
हाँ,
साता वेदनीय कर्म नहीं आएगा उसमें।
आत्मा आएगा ना। तो भाई कर्मों का क्षयोपशम हुआ, तो अभी साता का उदय चल रहा है। जब साता का जब उदय चल रहा है, तो यू आर फीलिंग गुड अबाउट योर वेकेशन, योर वट एवर शो यू वेंट टू, ऑल द फाइव सेंसेस के जितने भी एक्सपीरियंस हैं वो आपको अनुकूल लग रहे हैं।
So you're enjoying it
राइट,
based on Puniya karma, and the feeling of pleasure is coming from the Vedaniya karma.
राइट, राइट, एग्जैक्टली। और वो क्षयोपशम वहां, कि वो कर्मों का क्षयोपशम के कारण आपको वो उदय में अभी साता चल रहा है।
तो उसमें एक चीज और ऐड कर दी इन्होंने, by decrease in passions, which I am finding double whammy now,
अगर
right?
आप, okay, so let's if who can you point to the exact sentence where Arunji's
So
talking?
here, like
Okay.
in that para. No, I think a little bit
Raj, can
scroll
you
down.
put your pointer there if you are able to find
Where
it?
are you?
Oh,
I'm also
Yeah,
trying to.
here it is. Here it is. I think
no,
Okay.
I think it,
Um,
it need to
in
go
in
down.
this way, the paragraph that starts with "in this way,"
Correct.
Okay. Go down.
it's the end of that paragraph.
Last two lines. Plus one line.
No, I think you went.
Not here, right?
In
No.
this way. The paragraph starts with in this way.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it.
Yeah, here it's
This
There
way.
we
this.
go. Okay. In this way,
Now,
whatever.
now read this. Therefore, by strengthening. No,
Okay,
sorry.
let's
No.
Last two
Further
sentences.
down.
keep going down.
By decreasing, yeah, that's
Okay, so
By
first
decrease.
saying that because availability of desired objects is not under one's control. So if your karma का क्षयपशम है तो आपको वो मिलेंगे circumstances, right? And if by chance, according to the rise of karmas, the desired situation is also met. Rise of which karmas? Sata Vedniya. So you get the desired situation.
But this is the English translation, right?
no, but
Is there a Hindi version of this?
the decrease in passions is nothing but
Okay,
manda
let me
kashaya.
quickly, I have the Hindi book open. So
So
let's.
when there is a manda kashaya, then jnanavarniya, darshnavarniya will be spent, correct? So that's what kshayapsham of those
Did,
karmas will be there.
would it be this one? इस प्रकार जो उपाय से भासित होते हैं सो करता है. No, not that one. Is it?
No, not that. No, the by decrease. Is
Where
it anything talks about manda kashaya?
Anyway, let's keep reading this one itself. In this way, whatever means come to his mind, he adopts them, but all those means are false, because firstly, availability of the desired objects is not under one's control, which we understand it is extremely difficult. And if by chance, according to the rise of karmas, the desired situation is also met, then by strengthening the senses, the power of enjoying the objects does not increase. Okay. So it's saying that even if your senses were working fine, which they may or may not in the old age. Yes, Amit, are you trying to explain something? You
No, no,
raised.
once you are done, I will make an attempt.
Scroll down, Virajji, let's continue reading. Okay. Under one's control, which is extremely difficult. Okay. Strengthening.
Arunji pointed out that one, correct? By decrease in passions and on getting kshayapshama
Yeah,
karmas.
can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I understood is, if I see the entire paragraph, at the start of the paragraph, it is basically saying that those agyanis would think that by strengthening the senses through eating good meals, protein-based meals, etc., right, they can enjoy more sensory pleasure, right? But what this is trying to say, that it is the opposite. Nothing is accomplished by strengthening the senses through meals, because how will you enjoy the object more is only right by two things together. If the passion is decreased, and when the shayopsham of karmas happen, then automatically the power of knowledge and perception will increase. Only when the power of knowledge and perception increases, then the power of enjoying the object increases,
Okay,
not
so let's
by
look
doing. So again, it is saying that's all karma related.
Yeah, Arunji, what you're not trying to relate is, see, when we enjoy something, हमने अच्छा दृश्य देखा, तो वो किसका काम है? What is at work? Which gun of Atma? Senses is only the means. The Gyan gun is what is doing all the work. हम जान रहे हैं और उसमें अच्छा बुरा काम करना किसका गुण, किसका वो है? मोहनीय,
right.
राइट? तो अब समझो हमारे ज्ञान गुण का क्षयोपशम हुआ, तो हमारा ज्ञान में वृद्धि हो गई, इंक्रीजिंग द नॉलेज फैकल्टी. तो वी विल नो बेटर. नाउ इफ यू नो बेटर एंड योर पैशंस आर हाई, देन व्हाट विल हैपन?
इसमें तो पैशन भी डिक्रीज करने की बात कर रहे हैं ना.
हाँ, देखो, हाई पैशंस ज्यादा होंगे तो क्या रिजल्ट होगा उसका? कि वो उसमें ज्यादा आसक्त रहेगा. और पैशंस मंद होंगे तो उसको ज्ञान गुण की एबिलिटी तो बढ़ रही है, तो वो एक्सपीरियंस तो कर पाएगा, पर उसमें राग बुद्धि इतनी नहीं करेगा जितनी की पैशंस जब ज्यादा होंगे तो उसमें वो राग बुद्धि, सुख बुद्धि ज्यादा. And that's how this Shayopsham is not making sense to you. Because you are trying to think कि देखो, by decrease in passions, right, उसका मोह अभी मंद है, ठीक है? And on getting Shayopsham of karma, कर्मों का दबना होगा तभी वो पॉजिटिव उसको जो भी अनुकूल संयोग मिलेंगे. If the power of knowledge and perception increases, तो क्षयोपशम of which कर्मा? ज्ञानावर्णीय एंड दर्शनावर्णीय. ठीक है? वो जब दबे हुए होंगे और कुछ नष्ट हो जाएंगे, तब accordingly the power of enjoying the objects increases. Power of enjoying increases, but उसकी अगर कषाय मंद है तो उसमें वो सुख बुद्धि नहीं करेगा.
You won't be as passionate. The passion will be less.
Right. But his power of enjoyment is more because he is able to know better. हम आंखों से देखते हैं, हमें शार्प दिख रही है वो व्यू, और वही वेकेशन पे दूसरा आदमी गया और वो अपना चश्मा उसका गिर गया, टूट गया, तो क्या हुआ? उसका नॉलेज ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट हो गया ना.
Right.
वो वाटरफॉल जो बाकी सबको इतना क्लियर, इतना सुंदर इग्वासू फॉल दिख रहा है, उसको नहीं दिख रहा है. तो ही इज नॉट एबल टू एंजॉय. तो इसमें टू थिंग्स, मोह के मंदता से कर्मों का क्षयोपशम होगा, जिससे ज्ञान और दर्शन में वृद्धि होगी. उसके कारण उसकी पावर ऑफ एंजॉइंग तो बढ़ जाएगी, पर अगर उसके, हालांकि इसमें यहाँ लिखा नहीं है वो बात, तो हम वो कर रहे हैं, उसमें से निकाल रहे हैं कि अगर उसका मोह कम है तो उसमें उसकी सुख बुद्धि, हालांकि वो ज्यादा उसको दिखेगा, ज्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेगी, ऑल दैट विल हैपन. नाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड द कनेक्शन. मोह की मंदता में उसके कर्मों का क्षयोपशम इतना हो जाएगा कि उसकी नॉलेज और दर्शन गुण में वृद्धि होगी.
So taking the example of looking at the falls, so if he's looking at the falls, then what? He will not compare, he won't say it's good or bad, he'll just experience it. Is that what it means?
One point is that उसकी मोह पैशंस अभी इतने कम है कि उसको क्लियरली दिख रहे हैं, उसका चश्मा नहीं टूटा. राइट? नाउ द अदर थिंग इज आई एम एडिंग, अगर उसके पैशंस माइल्ड हैं और समझो कोई कारण से वो नहीं भी जा पाया, इवन दो दिख तो उसको क्लियर रहा है, यू नो, वो लाइन नहीं लगी होती, एवरीबॉडी इज एट दैट बाउंड्री लाइक पीकिंग एट द एंड देन समबडी पुशेस हिम आउट कि नहीं तू हट जा, तो देखने दे, उसको क्रोध नहीं आएगा उसके अगर पैशंस मंद है तो. So there's two ways the passions are acting. One is they're helpful in suppressing the Jnana Varniya karma. And then low passions are also helping in reducing your uh, krodh, or depending or whatever could be otherwise be active in the same circumstance. So यहाँ पर जो एग्जाम्पल दिया, देखो उसका अगर कर्मों का क्षयोपशम नहीं है तो कोई मोटा ताजा दिखते हुए भी he doesn't have enough energy, and somebody could be lean and thin and still have more energy, more power. So just the outside body is not enough. Karmo ka kshayopsham also depends why he can have the more energy level. So they're saying that just by thinking that you can strengthen by eating, that example that Amitji gave, proteins and all that, is not enough. Karmo ka kshayopsham bhi zaruri hai. Is that clear now, Arunji, or should we try to further explain?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Question. Many jivas are seen becoming happy by adopting such means, efforts. How do you say it to be totally false? Answer. The jivas do not become happy, but fallaciously consider themselves to be happy. If they have become happy, how will they remain the desire for other objects? As on getting the disease cured, why one would like to take other medicine? Similarly, on the end of misery, why one would like to have other objects? Therefore, if by enjoying the object, the desire ends, then we may treat it to be happiness. But so long as the particular object is not enjoyed, till then its desire persists. And the moment that object is enjoyed, at the same moment, the desire of enjoying the other object is seen developing. How can this be treated as happiness? For example, some voracious poor person got a particle of food and feels happiness by eating it. Similarly, this great greedy person got one desired object and he feels happy to obtain it, but in real sense, there is no happiness.
So here they're saying that first of all, they're proving that why it's a disease, right? If it was not a disease, once that desire was met, you'd be satisfied and then your disease is done with. But that doesn't happen. That one desire gets fulfilled and the next one keeps coming, propping up. And then he says that if somebody had to be satisfied, they could get satisfied with very little food also. But usually, the ones who get a lot, still they're so greedy that they keep wanting more and more. So the temporarily, when he thinks he's getting the satisfaction or sukh out of it, is really not the sukh. It's just they call it sukhabhas in Hindi, or not the real happiness.
Okay. What is wrong if one satisfies his desire by enjoying the objects one after the other, similar to the person who satisfies his hunger by eating the corn bit by bit? This may be accepted provided those corn bits gets accumulated. But when the next bit is eaten, by then the earlier bit gets driven out. How will then the appetite be quenched? Similarly, if in the knowing process the knowledge of objects get accumulated, then the desire may get fulfilled, consummated, But when he starts knowing the next object, why then the knowledge of the object known earlier vanishes. How will then the desire get fulfilled? Without consummation of desire, the commotion does not end. And without end of commotion, how can it be called happiness? Further, the enjoyment of even one object takes place under the influence of wrong faith, etc. Therefore, the bondage of karmas being the cause of forthcoming many miseries takes place. Hence, in the present moment also it is not happiness, nor is the cause of happiness in future. So it is assuredly misery. The same is stated in the Pravachanasar as below.
So you understand what they're saying. At that right now also it's just a what do you call that? Like a mirage. I mean, you're
Yeah.
thinking and it's not. And then that dissatisfaction causes more karma bandha, which gives you more miseries.
Yeah. So in Pravachanasar it says Sapram Bandasahim Vichandram Bandhakarnam Vishamam
Written
Jamaidhin Ladatan
Bada Sahiyam Vichinam Bandhakaranam Visamam Jam Indiyehim Laddam Tam Sokham Dukhamevataha.
meaning happiness derived through sense organs is dependent, amenable to disturbances, terminable, cause of bondage, and fluctuating. Hence, it is assuredly misery in disguise. In this way, the efforts made by this mundane being should be known as false. What is the right effort then? When the desire comes to an end and the enjoyment of all object continues simultaneously, then the misery ends. But the desire comes to an end only when moha perishes and simultaneous enjoyment of all objects is possible only on attainment of Kevala Jnana, omniscience. The means of these is the attainment of Samyak Darshana, right belief, etc. And the same should be known as the right means. In this way, the Kshayopshama of Dhyanavarana, Darshanavarana also becomes cause of misery owing to nimitta, association of moha, delusion. Question. Knowing of the object does not materialize owing to rise of Jnana Varna and Darshana Varna karmas, hence regard them to be the cause of misery. Why do you say the Kshayopshama as to be the cause of misery? If not knowing be the cause of misery, then the Udgalas should also suffer from misery. But the root cause of misery is the desire, and the desire is evolved owing to the Kshayopshama only. Therefore, Kshayopshama is said to be the cause of misery, but in reality, Kshayopshama also is not the cause of misery. The desire of sensual objects which evolves due to moha, delusion, that desire alone is to be known as the cause of misery. I think this should answer all the things we
Right,
tried.
right. You just highlight that last sentence. The desire of is the main root cause of the misery.
But it feels like all these pages he was trying to make a point that the Shayopsham, right, is responsible at the end, taking a U-turn and now saying that.
No, I think
desires is
no, I think how the previous it started with moha, and in the
yeah,
between it talks about the kshayapsham of the jnana darshana and try to
correct.
tell us that because he's trying to teach us about all the things in between also, but ultimately the moha is the one.
So also,
Yeah,
even though it doesn't explain here, but it should also explain that. So let's say ज्ञानावरण दर्शनावरण का उदय है ज्यादा खराब, आप ब्लाइंड हो तो थोड़ा तो ज्ञानावरण अभी ढका उदय चल रहा है बिकॉज जो जो चीजें आप आंख से देख सकते थे वो नहीं देख जानने में आ रही है at least not in that form. तो जैसे यहाँ इच्छा दुख का कारण है, वैसे वहां पर इच्छा पूरी नहीं होगी, बिकॉज वो सेंसेस की कमी है, और सेंसेस के कारण उस समय जानने की भी कमी है। तो ज्ञानावरण का उदय चल रहा है। क्षयोपशम में क्या होता है, उसका अभी ज्ञानावरण का थोड़ा क्षय है, थोड़ा उपशम है, तो वो दबे हुए हैं, तो आपको जानने में ज्यादा आ रहा है, और जानने में ज्यादा आ रहा है तो यू आर थिंकिंग दैट्स अ कॉज फॉर हैप्पीनेस, and
Because-
vice versa. If you are not able to know, you think that's a cause for misery, and both are not correct.
Correct. So it started
So
experiencing
ultimately,
this.
moha is the one that plays. That's
Yes.
what
Correct.
it answered.
Correct. So it first started with saying that even Sayopsham in wrong faith and Moh, right, both is a problem. But at the end, it kind of convinced that Moh is even the bigger problem.
Bigger problem, but remember I made you highlight, moha is still the only nimit.
Nimit,
So how can you, if moha always makes you miserable, how will you get out of that cycle? Moha is only the nimit. You still have your upadan. So the
I'm
soul
sure.
itself,
Yeah.
if you still have the choice of going to your swabhav.
I think in the later he will come and say that
Correct.
those are passions or moha and all also, like they are like temporary. They are
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the cause of
They're
yeah.
only nimit, they are not
Yeah, they are
the
not swabhava, as you said, like they are
yes,
not swabhava.
Correct,
Why they are
correct.
not swabhava, they will come back and tell, I think.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Bahuji
See,
is able to see the future now.
there is a sentence here also which kind of, I think, puts it all together. Says the simultaneous enjoyment of all the objects is possible only on attainment of Keval Gyan.
Correct.
So enjoyment is not actually seen in a negative sense unless moha is attached to it, right?
Yeah,
And
Yes.
selective enjoyment.
exactly.
You enjoy
That's-
one object and then the desire for another object comes.
because
And you
with
forget the previous one.
Exactly. That, yeah. So
And if there
this
is no
talking about
So
desire,
eating.
I think with the
all
moha, this is relative, correct? Like we external enjoyment is in the external. In Kevala Jnana, there is no enjoyment in the external.
Exactly.
Moha
That is
you're
also
only
true.
enjoying your own self,
Yeah,
which is not paradhin, not badha sahit, not destroyable. All those 3-4 things that they talked about with the indriya knowledge,
yeah,
those don't apply when it comes to keval gyan.
yeah. Because there is no organs at all. There is no. I mean, ultimately.
And because of that, then that lasts. That sukh is the only one that can last forever. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Misery caused by rise up, mohonia karma, and release from it. Firstly, owing to rise up darshan moha, wrong belief is caused due to which the substance is not found as per one's belief, and his belief is not according to as the substance is. Therefore, he always remains agitated. For example, someone puts on a cloth on a madman. That madman, knowing that cloth is his own limb, believes the self and the cloth as one entity. That cloth being under the control of the dresser, he, the dresser, sometimes tears it, sometimes joins it, sometimes snatches it, sometimes puts on new cloth, thus behaves in many ways. That madman believes it under his control, whereas it's fluctuating
Function.
where its functioning is under others' control, due to which he feels very much dejected. Similarly, the rise of karmas produced the association of body to this jiva. This jiva, knowing that body as one's own limb, believes the self and the body as one entity, mass. That body being dependent on karmas sometimes becomes thin, sometimes becomes obese, sometimes gets destroyed, sometimes gets newly created. Thus, different conditions are produced. This jiva believes it to be under his control, whereas its functioning is under others' control, due to which he feels very much dejected. Further, where that madman was staying, there came from somewhere some persons, horses, wealth, etc., and halted there. That madman knows them as his own, but they being under their own control, some come, some depart, and some modify into different forms. That mad person believes all those objects under his control, and their actions takes place under others' control, due to which he feels very much dejected. Similarly, wherever the jiva obtains new embodied form, they come from somewhere, sun, horse, wealth, etc. on their own. This jiva knows them to be his own, but they being under their own control, some arrive, some depart, and some modify into different forms. This jiva believes all those under his control, and their actions takes place under the other's control. Due to that, he feels very much dejected. I think it repeats, I believe.
Yeah, I think sometimes the sentence is
Yeah.
correct.
Question. Sometimes the functioning or actions of body and sun, etc., also appear to be under the control of the jiva. Then at least at that time, this jiva feels happy. Answer. Coincidentally, on meeting of the tendency of the desire of jiva and of the desire and of the destined change of the body, etc., some objects modifies in a particular way as per his desire. Therefore, some moment, while thinking about the same event, one feels it to be happiness. But all the objects do not modify in all respects according to his desire. Hence, in his thought process, various forms of hesitation continue incessantly. Further, sometimes seeing the objects modifying in some way according to his desire, this jiva feels oneness and mineness in the body, sun, etc. So, owing to this understanding, he always remains agitated from the anxiety of producing, nourishing, and protecting them. Even by bearing several types of pains, he wishes good of them. And the desire of enjoying the objects, occurrence of passions, agreeable, disagreeable feeling in external objects, adoption of contrary means, disbelief in right means, and misconjecturing, the single root cause of all these wrong faith, misbelief. On its destruction, all perversities get destroyed. Therefore, the root of all miseries is this wrong faith only. Further, he does not make effort to destroy that wrong faith. Also, since he has accepted the wrong faith as to be the right faith, why would then he make effort? Further, if by chance the five-sensed rational being contemplates about the means of ascertaining the tattvas, realities, thereupon, if due to misfortune, he comes into contact with the false deity, false preceptor, false scripture, then the misbelief in tattvas gets fostered. His understanding was that he will be benefited by these, but they provide such a means due to which he may become unconscious. He was making efforts for ascertaining the true nature of substance, reality, but contrarily becomes firm in false belief, and consequently, due to increase of passions and sensual desires, becomes more miserable. Further, if by chance the nimitta of true deity, preceptor, scripture is also met with, even then he does not develop belief in the real sense of their preachers, but remains a misbeliever of tattvas, realities, owing to faith in conventional preaching. There, if passions becomes feeble and the desire for object is reduced, then he becomes less miserable, but afterwards reverts to same condition. Therefore, whatever efforts this mundane being makes, they too are false. Moreover, the
I'm
other...
just to make sure we understand this.
Yeah.
All this that we read so far. what they're saying. How do you get false belief and then you continue to
Yeah.
have your belief false? And sometimes we do this, right? Suppose
Yeah.
People who have small children, right? You tell them do this and they will do it. They will listen. Nice, obedient kids. What do we think? I raised them well,
Yeah.
right? How we quickly take the credit. But it's so hard to think that no, it's not me doing that. It so happens that I thought they should be like this, and same time, they also, their Uday is such that they also wanted to do the same thing. So I cannot take all the credit. And same way, we give false credit to ourselves in different ways. Then, so when they go to, Devi Devta or unka koi kaam ban gaya, which will happen randomly, right? The statistics will say randomly 100 people go, 40, 50 ka to kaam ban hi jayega. So then what happens? They get the firm belief that, oh, wahan jaane se mera kaam ho. So, or, या फिर even with this Shastra, I've heard people saying this too. Let's see. अभी जैसे my son got engaged, right? मंदिर में one lady comes and, oh, आप वो स्वाध्याय करते हो ना?
Very good. बहुत मस्त.
So, even with the right swadhyay, or even if you're in the right Dev Guru Shastra, still to take that as a reason for your other things, no, they're not connected. Your real understanding of the true tattvas only changes your inner intentions, not the bias in you. So we don't want to be misguided.
Okay.
Whenever we think something is fulfilled that we desired, or whatever we did for that, then we end up believing in that wrong thing. ओ मेरा वो करने से, वहां जान दर्शन करने से ये काम हो गया. एक बार हो जाए तो उस पर श्रद्धा हो गई. Okay.
Yeah.
Next
Moreover,
paragraph.
the other effort that this mundane being adopts is that he wishes to modify the substances according to his belief. If those objects get modified accordingly, then his belief may be true, but the substances are eternal, separate from each other, and modify within their respective limits. None is dependent on the other. None modifies by any other, causing it to modify. Desiring to modify them is no remedy. It is assuredly wrong faith. What is the right means then? If one's belief becomes as per the nature of the substances, then all miseries come to an end. Thus, just as someone deludingly believes the corpse to be alive or tries to make it alive, then he himself becomes miserable. And believing it to be dead and having the faith that this will not become alive by trying to make it alive is the only means to get rid of that misery. Similarly, if someone holding wrong faith misbelieves the substances, tries to change them otherwise, then he himself becomes miserable. And believing them correctly and having the faith that these will not change otherwise by trying to get them changed is the only means to get rid of that misery. The remedy of the misery caused by delusion is to remove the delusion only. So, on removal of delusion, right belief originates, and that alone is to be known as the real remedy.
So at the end, they're saying basically, Samyak Darshan is the right remedy.
Yeah.
To find out the way the nature is, the way things work, is the only way to reduce your misery.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Misery due to Charitra Moha and release from it. Owing to rise up Charitra Moha, conduct deluding karma, impure dispositions of jiva in the form of anger, etc., passions and laughter, etc., quasi passions are caused. Then this jiva sorrowfully, feeling much afflicted, indulges in several types of evil deeds anxiously. The same is being explained. When a person is overpowered by anger passion, then he desires to harm others, and for that purpose he thinks about various means, utters heartbreaking words by using abusive language. He starts killing by his own limbs, hands, etc., and by arms, stones, etc. He tries to harm others even by harming the self through undergoing a lot of pains by spending money and by committing suicide, or if he knows that the one can be harmed through others, then he tries to get him harmed through others, or if one gets harmed on his own, then he approaches it. Even if by others' harm none of his purpose gets fulfilled, yet he harms him. And on rise of anger, if some venerable or well-wishers also intervene in the matter, then he abuses them also, starts beating them and becoming irrational. And if no harm be caused to other person, then he feels very sorry in his heart of his own and cuts his own limbs and even dies by swallowing poison, etc. Such condition happens on rise up anger passion. And when a person is overpowered by pride passion, then he desires to humiliate others and exalts himself, and for this purpose he plans many schemes. He censures others and exalts himself and undermines others' image, prestige through various ways and means, and magnifies his own image. The wealth which he has collected with great pains spends in marriages, etc., and spends even by taking loans, thinking that his name and fame will remain even after his death. He tries to magnify his self-esteem even by committing suicide. If someone does not pay respect, then he tries to earn respect even by giving threats and creating trouble for others. Moreover, under the pressure of pride, he does not pay respect even to honorable and elderly persons and becomes irrational. If he does not find others in the let down position and himself in the higher position, then inwardly he feels very sorry and cuts his own limbs and even dies by taking poison, etc. Such condition happens on the rise of pride passion.
Repeated, I've heard this cut him so many times.
It's like each of the passion, this guy is cutting limbs. Arm. we just say Krodha Mana Maya Lobha, we never think about this, but it looks like it is very dangerous. That means we are so far away from it, but okay. Now it's anger, pride. Maybe next one is deceit. We'll see how bad it is.
I think no limbs are left now.
Yeah.
There are three
No,
more.
at the end it is there.
There are two more to go. Let's see what is left. Okay. And when a person is overpowered by deceit, passion, that is Maya, passion, then he desires to accomplish his objective deceptively. For the purpose of accomplishing it, he plans many schemes, utters deceitful words in different ways, poses his body deceitfully, tries to show external things otherwise. even indulges in such deceitful actions which may end his life. On exposure of his deception, he may get badly harmed, even death may occur, yet he remains undaunted. Under the influence of deception, even if some venerable and adorable persons come in his contact, he acts deceitfully with them also and becomes irrational. If his objective does not get accomplished by deception, then he feels extremely sorry and cuts his
Oh God, here it comes.
own limbs and commits suicide by taking poison, etc. Such condition happens on rise of deceit passion.
I think
Sorry.
spoken about in the Hindi one.
The next greed also the same thing happens.
Oh my God. Okay.
बात करता
Yeah, greed also. You can see at the end of it, cuts his limbs and dies by taking poison, etc.
Yeah, it looks like copy paste paragraph, right? Only
Yeah.
the passion has been changed.
No, actually, no. It does say that अपने अपने अंगों का घात करता है in Hindi, but it's
Hindi, yeah.
a little milder than.
Okay, but let's read that also. Otherwise, we'll not feel the seriousness.
Mm.
And when a person is overpowered by greed, passion, lobha, then the desire of obtaining the favorite objects arises, and for the purpose of accomplishing it, he plans in various ways. He utters words in support of his objective, poses his body in different ways, tolerates a lot of miseries, serves others, visits foreign countries. Even he indulges in that work which may lead to his death and starts such activities which may cause great sufferings to him. And on the rise of greed passion, even if there be some work related to the venerable and adorable persons, then also he tries to achieve his goal and becomes irrational. And whenever the desired thing he has obtained, he tries to protect it by various means. If the desired object is not obtained or the favorite thing is lost, then he himself feels very much distressed, cuts his limbs and dies by taking poison, etc. Such condition happens when one overpowered by greed passion.
So anyway, so this is all the dukh of Charitramoni.
Correct.
Now one thing that something I want you to understand is, number one, when one gets Samyak Darshan, Anantanubandhi
Krodhabanu.
lobe is also destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So passions are not as strong, yet they're not gone. So
Yeah.
even for the Muniraj, even within Sanjvalan, there is intense passions and less intense passions. So certain things, even when we experience our own passions, right? Sometimes, it happens like you're feeling upset about something. And you're kind of aware of it too, that you are not liking it or feeling upset about something. Yet sometimes you cannot help it. See, sometimes you're able to control that feeling. Other times, even though you're able to observe that it's happening, yet you're not able to control it. And this Charitramoni ka Tivra Uday is the reason for that. Now, this is another thing that was brought up, Amit, I don't know if you remember. This was in Vipinji's lecture, not the Vipinji, not the younger. So, उन्होंने क्या बताया था इसमें कि जब तीव्र उदय है तो जो होना होगा वो तो होगा, क्रोध भी होगा, राग भी होगा, रामचंद्र जी लक्ष्मण को लेके भी घूमे थे, येट सम्यक दर्शन होने से अंदर से उनका एसोसिएशन, so there are two separate things, चारित्रमोनीय and दर्शन. दर्शनमोनीय का उपशम या क्षय है, फिर भी चारित्रमोनीय का उदय हो सकता है. So ये जो बड़ा all this क्रोध मान माया लोभ की तीव्रता, you know, we read कि ये ज्यादा तीव्र है तो वो अपने अंगों का भी घात करेगा या द वर्स्ट केस में सुसाइड भी कर लेगा. तो होपफुली उस लेवल की तो नहीं तीव्रता होती है, पर हो सकती है. किसमें? चारित्रमोनी के तीव्र उदय में. Now, I'm not sure if both sects have the same story about Shrenik Raja. The one version I have heard is Shrenik Raja had two kids, right? One of them, Kunik, was a bad one. He gave too much pain to Shrenik Raja, put him in the jail and all that. And one fine day he realized ki, oh no, I've been doing bad to my father. So he comes to the jail to release him with a sword. And Shrenik Raja mistakenly thinks that he is coming to kill him with a sword. So he doesn't want his son to get that path of killing someone. So he licks the diamond ring and commits suicide.
Oh.
Now he's Shaikh Samkiti now, remember. Still, Charitramohane ka tivra udaya se.
Mhm.
I know we are laughing at all this, you know, the way it's presented, but there is a lot of truth to it. So, हम अपने में देखें तो भी उसको समझें और किसी दूसरे में देखें तो भी उसको करुणा भाव से कि अभी इसका ऐसा चारित्र मोहने का तीव्र उदय चढ़े. And we don't feel angry upon that person who is behaving like that because of this. And when we ourselves are going through it, and we can observe that we are going through this anger or whatever feeling it may be that is not controllable, that realize that it is happening, but I am not. ये क्रोध भाव भी मेरे विभाव हैं, मेरे स्वभाव. They're just walking along with me, but that is not me. So that is how a person getting closer to Samyak Darshan starts thinking, starts contemplating these kind of things. That even though he is himself going through this Tivra Udaya of Charitra Mohan, but can separate himself from it. So we'll do the rest of the topics later. I think this English book has maybe a little more topics. Yeah, I picked it up. Okay, somebody put it in the group where we stopped,
Yeah,
paragraph numbers, so that way we don't forget.
I'll put the screenshot of this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And if that is done, we can close it, Viraj.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Are you trying to say something, Nitaji?
yeah, I'm really sorry I could not attend the class from the beginning. So today was my Gandhar also. So
Oh,
shall I send the recording?
Just came. I thought maybe you were not ready. I didn't want to make you feel bad by asking.
No. I actually was too busy in the last few days. But I did not wish to skip the class or skip my Gandhar. So I purposely scheduled my flight a day before so that I don't miss this class, but yet I overslept. So shall I send the recording of my Gandhar?
Go ahead and do that because our next class is, what date would that be? Actually, probably 14th or 15th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you
15th, right?
send the recording anyways? Because I think I'm supposed to give you guys grades by a certain date. So I need to start looking at that. So, but then if you come to the next class, we'll still let you present it also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I know things happen. That's why we tried to call you. So we didn't.
Yeah, I just
Okay, so
saw so many missed classes or missed calls also, and I'm really, really sorry for putting you all with this inconvenience.
we wouldn't wake up this 5 a.m. So you're already doing a great job of trying to wake up so early and attend this class. सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्मस्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्मस्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्मस्वरूप निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है वंदना शत जय
Jai Jananda.
and good luck everybody with